Abundance breeds abundance. In this educational episode, I'm going to address how do you get rid of entitlement mindsets. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist, retirement planning specialist now for nearly 5 decades, but in helping thousands of people optimize assets and minimize taxes, I have been very, very blessed to have met many super successful people, millionaires, multimillionaires, even billionaires. And many times I will ask them, golly, how did you accumulate this wealth? Or how did you build this empire or this business? And they will usually share, well, you know, Doug, I was raised by parents who went through the Great Depression, and they taught me how to work. I have worked so hard. My kids will never have to work as hard as I did. Well, 20, 30, 40 years later, during their retirement, they would come into my office and they would be sort of distraught. And I would say, what's up? Oftentimes they would say, Doug, golly, I don't know what's wrong with our kids and now our grandkids. They don't even know how to work. And I would say, well, maybe you stole that from them. Maybe in your effort to help them, you were hindering them. You always said what made a man out of you is how you overcame challenges and setbacks and you got strong. And you thought you were doing them a favor by bailing them out and paying for stuff. And now you're wondering why they have this entitlement mindset. They're always hanging around, Mom, Dad, will you pay for, when do I get my share? And so you now need to abolish this entitlement mindset, right? Yeah. Well, so many of them shared this with me that I wrote a book called Entitlement Abolition, how to abolish entitlement mindsets and how we've helped thousands of people do this. It's a 200-page book, and if you stay with me to the end of this episode, I'll gift you a copy of this book. But it's really a lot of ideas on how we have taught those in our family, our children and our grandchildren, how to be responsible and accountable and not enable them, but empower them. Together we're better. And I teach this on family vacations with a purpose. We hold an annual grandpa's camp and people want to know how to do that. If you have a trust, we teach in the book how to change your rules of governance in a trust from equal distribution, where your kids are waiting around to get their share, to equal opportunities, where you give them equal opportunities, but not equal distribution. And so people go, wow, this is awesome. So it's sort of like many of these families and businesses, those people they care about are in this entitlement trap, and they can't seem to participate in the abundance life offers because they're in this scarcity mindset. And so what I love to do is free them from this trap. And by doing this, we're able to have them collaborate and be part of a team where together we're better. And by doing that, everybody's participating and they are now experiencing abundance and they take pride in what they do. And abundance breeds abundance, and life is absolutely incredible. And so a lot of people want to know how to do this. And I talked about equal opportunity. So many times wealthy people, they set up their trust. And what they're trying to do is make sure that they preserve assets and pass it down to their children. Unfortunately, a lot of attorneys, well-intending, they sit down with you, and after they find out what your net worth is, what's the first question they ask you? How many kids have you got? Because what are they going to start doing? Dividing it up. That's the number one rule if you want to destroy. Divide and conquer. No, united we stand, divided we fall. And so they find out your children's names and your assets, and they plug your children's names into this trust document and your assets, and then they push print. And what happens? When you and your spouse pass away, chunk, 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 it's all divided up equally and dumped in their laps. Because the attorney asks you, you want to be fair, don't you? You want to divide all this up equally, don't you? And, you know, it's a slam dunk, and Maybe I'm making it sound more simple than it is, but that's what an equal distribution trust is. And I teach people, you know what? I have found there's nothing more unequal than the equal distribution to unequals. And people go, say that again. There's nothing more unequal than the equal distribution to unequals. And they go, what do you mean by that? Well, let me put it this way. I don't believe our Creator gives all of us equal distribution of blessings, let's say of health, regardless of how some of us may choose to abuse our body, including myself. Our Creator doesn't go, you know what, I want to be fair. I'm going to give you the same health that are abusing your bodies and taking in these harmful substances as these people over here who are watching what they eat, they're exercising and doing all these things. I want to be fair. I'm going to give you equal distribution of health to these people. No, our Creator gives us equal opportunities, not equal distribution. Does that make sense? And so after I explain this, many people will go back to their estate planning attorney and change their rules of governance on their trust to equal opportunities. We give our children equal opportunities. They can borrow money and show us how they're going to pay it back. If they can't pay it back with money, they will paint, they'll shampoo carpets, they'll mow lawns. But it's not just a handout. We give them a hand up, but not a handout. We want to empower them by giving all of them equal opportunities, but they have to have some skin in the game. They have to sacrifice. They have to work for it. It's not just a handout and they wait around, when do I get my fair share? This is a game changer. So if this is resonating with you and you want to learn more about how to abolish entitlement mindset with those that you care about, I would love to gift you a free copy of this book. You simply go to entitlementabolitionbook.com and you contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. You don't have to pay $20 for it on Amazon. I appreciate it if you do, but I'll gift you a copy of the book. You have to have skin in the game, okay? And I'll cover the rest of that cost, but I'll pay for the book and I'll fire out a hard copy to you. You can also get a double package if you want to get this book, which talks about how to manage the financial dimension, if you would like. But this is not about me trying to sell you a book. I'll gift you this book. But as you go in there, the first half, we'll talk about why we get in these traps. And that's the first 4 chapters. There's 12 chapters total. The last 8 chapters talk about how to break out of that trap and experience abundance, and then teach that to those you care about, your kids, your grandkids, your employees, so that they can experience abundance and learn to be responsible and accountable and stepping up to the plate, so that abundance breeds abundance in their life, and they're not just sitting around in an entitlement mindset waiting for their share.